Yeah, so like I don't really. It took me time to learn that you can't be reactive and explosive with your anger because like in my
Mm.
family, I remember when my parents found out that about my first bully because I had a bully one and only when I was like in third grade, and they've never let me live it down that he was white, and also
What did he do to you to bully you?
he would keep me. He would like hem me up after school because I lived walking distance from school. I didn't need to take the bus. And so I don't know if anybody's familiar with The Wiz, but everybody loves black women.
Yes.
Everybody,
He's on
I'm
down the
thinking more.
road.
Don't nobody bring me no bad news. That is what it's like to be
Okay.
raised by a black mother.
Okay.
Okay, don't bring me no problems. Do what you need to do. I got enough on my plate. Everybody's like, oh yes, queen, black woman. Yeah, be raised by one, and let's see how you feel about it. So I had very strict times to be home. Like my mother knew when school was out, and I had to be home. She knew how long it would take me to walk. And this guy Frank, this big honking Italian kid, he would mess with me. He would like take my book bag or like do things that would like hold me up, and then I would get home late, and my mother would assume I was like into some mischief. So
Mm.
I would get in trouble, and I was ashamed to
Oh.
tell her.
And this
This is
is
in
in
third
third
grade.
grade?
Before I hit my
Oh.
first growth spurt, I had 3. So
Oh.
I get home and
Good.
like, my mother's like, what's going on with you? And I mean, hand on her hip, she's doing the cobra. She waited till my father got home. She's convinced that I'm doing something wrong. So I'm like, no. So it keeps going on. Next thing I know I'm coming home. He's doing his shit. There's a group of kids. He's like doing whatever. And I'm like, I'm going to walk away. I'm not going to do this. And I see my mother's Mazda Tercel pull up. And I'm like, okay, my mother's here. Like, now you're going to leave me alone. And my mother gets out of the car and she leans across the hood like she's in the street. And she's like, is this little motherfucker the reason why you late from school every day? And I was like, I didn't say anything. Everybody's like paused looking at her. And she was like, I know you got to be lying. She was like, whoop his ass. She was like, and if you don't whoop his ass, I'm going to whoop your ass when we get home.
Oh my god!
All of the kids are looking at my mother. They all then look at me. Me and him look at each other. And I literally
Oh
just go
no.
for his face. Like literally just like that.
Because you don't want to be
What did
whooped
the
by
other
your
kids
mom.
do?
They like were in shock because like,
Yeah.
normally when a parent shows up, that's when the violence stops.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
not what happened.
That's
And
hysterical.
so yeah, that was the last bully I ever had because I fought every single one that I've ever had
Oh my god.
because I didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
Wow. And there's something to like your mom being like, go beat him up, that it's like I
Yeah.
guess
I
I
mean,
have
well,
to.
yeah, I was
Like
more afraid of her than
it's
him. Like my
Yeah.
mother's crazy. My mother was a gang leader in Detroit in the 70s. My mother's been stabbed. Like my mother's
I
5'2",
also
125
That's
pounds of terror.
so
that's the funniest part of this whole story, Chase, was that his mom is so little.
She's so small.
She's so petite.
we have my mom too is 5'2" and tiny, but our moms are so different because
Your mother would have
one
rescued
time
you.
I got detention.
My mom wouldn't know
Yeah,
where
well,
I was.
yeah, and I I had like ballet rehearsal and my mom and I had to do Saturday detention because I got a lot of detentions for being
Ooh.
late. And she like I know. And I was like such a good kid. And here I am going to detention. She walks me in and I'm so embarrassed. And I go across the room like I don't know her. She talks to them that I have ballet practice. And then she's like, okay, Chase, let's go. Come on. I got you out of detention. Let's go. And I had to walk past everyone in my ballet clothes and follow my mom out. And I mean, just a different experience that shaped me as well, but just different.
That is
The
totally different. I
same but
wish
different.
my mother would have been like, okay, Quinn, enough of that. We're gonna go. Look, you gotta go to Cub Scouts. Let's go. My mother was like, I'm not raising no bitch.
Well, oh.
Flatten that Guido. That's
Do you
basically what
know
went down.